Hey, how's it going everyone? It is Drago. We're back with another chapter of Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, chapter 194, True Aim. The cover page for this chapter has Faris on it, and I actually really enjoy this cover. Then you got the background of Acnologia there. Honestly, it looks like she's just trying to be the boss of like a criminal organization, like telling them her evil plans. You just know sitting with that giant Acnologia arm is like the most uncomfortable thing ever, because that is probably very heavy, and just sitting with that has got to be real awkward. We pick up the chapter with Faris defeating Bestia. Literally the timing on this couldn't have been more perfect, because literally right when Bestia is hitting the ground, fully defeated, is right when Fairy Tail is teleporting in. I feel like Faris is kind of excited to see this group just because they were the ones that killed Acnologia, and she's like, oh, you guys are the ones that murdered my master? I'm so ready for this. Also, Natsu being shocked by her floating. I'm kind of surprised he would be, just because like she's floating. I feel like you've seen like crazier magics than that, Natsu. But before they even get to clash at all, there's like this black magic spreading throughout the land. And honestly, first looking at this, I was like, oh, is this like the snake binding magic that like Jalal used? Because it's wrapping around them very similar to that. Obviously, it doesn't fully look like that, but I was like, is this like a binding spell that's being used right now? Which it definitely is not, because you go to the next panel and their skin is starting to turn into scales, so literally everyone here is starting to be dragonized. And that was apparently Ignia's goal, was to use Alderaan to mess with the continent to turn everyone into dragons, and the Lacrimas were just a decoy. Which really the only person here able to do things is Faris, because everyone else is having their magic zapped away from them. So we cut away from the main Fairy Tail group and you actually go over to Diablos, and it isn't just the Alderaan surrounding area that's getting dragonized, because you literally get Diablos being dragonized and random civilians and whatnot. Dang, these universe spells, they all are pretty much named the same, because you had like Irene doing her universe 1, and that just completely messing with things. Like, we seem to have like quite a bit of universal spells popping up. Kind of crazy that Ignia straight up turned Alderaan into a giant Lacrima to do this plan, but honestly it doesn't seem like it's going as far as he thought it would, because literally in their dialogue here it's just saying it's going to turn everyone into dragons on this continent, not like the whole world, just the continent. Which I'm sure if you turned Alderaan into a Lacrima, he could probably walk to other continents and like turn them too, so it could be the whole world, but it's just like, you got a weird limitation here, buddy. But Ignia also has one more request, and he calls to Bestia to help out Natsu, which she just grabs him and teleports him away, and that's pretty much all she does. So with Natsu gone, Faris decides to go take on Alderaan and potentially end this whole situation of them all dragonizing. At least Faris does have some backup there, because you have Gajil, Mira, Elfman, and Juvia, along with Selene. Honestly, you do have a pretty decent bunch taking on Alderaan. So then we cut back to Natsu with Bestia and where she ended up taking him. And it turns out she took him to meet Ignia, which is not really the biggest surprise. And I'm sure they're going to try and upgrade Natsu in some way, some form, somehow. Which Natsu has quite literally a very cold line here with him saying, I don't have a half decent brother. Which is shade towards Ignia and also shade towards Seraph. With that is the end of this chapter, so my thoughts. I wonder how far we're going to go into these dragonized versions of everyone, and also is the Alderaan team starting to turn into dragons as well? Because it'd be pretty wild to see like dragonized versions of like Lucy, Urza, Gray, but I think the more interesting ones is like Natsu, Wendy, and Gajil. Would this like activate their dragon seeds? Because I know it was taken away, but now that you're kind of having them dragonize a bit, would that somehow reactivate that? It definitely is an interesting switch up though, and I also wondered why none of the fairy tale team was even dragonizing when they were going next to the bluff lacrimas, just because the townspeople were all turning into dragons. Why didn't they? I kind of do like the bluff there that the lacrimas were just a decoy, so Ignia could power up Alderaan and make him a walking dragonizer. And also, if everyone's not really able to use their regular magics right now, that is a big problem. Honestly, do think that Faris would probably be able to take it on by herself, especially if she's using Acnologia's power, to where that would very much steamroll pretty much most magics. Definitely interesting twist. I was not expecting things to go down this route yet again. We're not getting Gajal's fight or Mira's fight or Elfman's fight continued. It's been forever. It's starting to dry up like a desert. But otherwise, what are your guys' thoughts? Leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and this is Drago signing out.